What's going on, everybody? Jibba 73 back with the Double E Show. It's Fallon Fridays with Prison Architect. Just want to start out by saying I'm narrating over the video because Windows did an update and it once again muted my microphone in my recording software. So, so I'm narrating over it. In the last video, I said what I wanted to do was lay out the deliveries, garbage, and exports along with storage, and I was going to put them within the walls of the prison, so when the deliveries come down that left-hand road, they're brought into the main central road and then into the deliveries room, and then hopefully when those items go out to the canteen and the other places or whatnot, they bring them down the central road instead of going up and around. Now what I did was I decided on a 5 wide section for garbage and exports, and a 9 wide section for deliveries, and then a 5 tall section for storage. And I placed the doors in a central location, and I erased the rooms. I relay them out. There's still deliveries going in. There's garbage going in right there. And then exports, of course, which is an odd shape, but fine. And storage. Now, I moved down to the right-hand section where the administration building is, because I wanted to start building the administration center in its new location so I could move those offices from where they're currently at, delete the building there, and finish laying out the roads and sidewalks properly for this center road. So, yeah. So I select the build, and then here I back out a little bit. I'm talking about I need to lay the water pump. And I was thinking about laying it in a central location because I have the power blocks on the outer edge. And I actually decided to plan the water pump into the administration building side. Here you see me laying it out. It's a 3x3 square. And then I decided for symmetry, I'd put a 3x3 square on the other side, and I'd make that the cleaning closet, or the cleaning cupboard. I figured we could have a cleaning cupboard in each section of the prison, so that way the janitors wouldn't have to go too far for the cleaning supplies. So now we lay the water pump, which is fine to lay it before the building is down, because when you build the building, it'll build it around it and it shouldn't break anything. And I zoom in and I take a look. I can't remember what I planned this one room for, but the 3x3 or the 3 wide room. Before we get to that, I decided to mark the cell blocks, or the blocks of the prison, with numbers, because I kept talking about putting the holding cell in block 4, but then I couldn't remember, how I wanted to lay out the blocks, and I decided to mark them so that way, for future reference, I would know block 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 is where the administration building is, holding cell, intake. It's going to be min security. It's going to be min security and protective custody. Cell block 1 will be, or block 1 will be medium security. Block 2 will be high security. And block 3 will be maximum security, or supermax, and death row. Yeah, so I decide here. So I can't remember what I'm going to do with the room that's next to what I'm laying out now, but I decided to make this a staff bathroom. That way, where they have a place to go, because I was thinking that that was going to be the room next to it was going to be the I was thinking that the room next to it was going to be the staff room, and then I remembered I put the staff room in the administration block. The room next to it is actually the kitchen, the staff kitchen, and the staff canteen is to the left. So yeah, so I figured it out, and anyways, I started laying the walls in the administration building, so that way, excuse me for the cough, that way I could outfit the rooms, label them as offices, and one by one move the existing offices over to the new administration building, and then deleting those offices Yeah, so that way I could get rid of that building. And here you see me laying the lights down, marking the warden's office first, and I go into his office and I take out the office delineation, or denote the office. I took the office out, and I went in and deleted all the objects from it. I took a quick look to make sure that the only one still working on anything was the lawyer, so I'm going to move him last. So deleting all the office equipment, and I'm going to replace all the office equipment and doors and everything in the new administration building, and that's what I'm doing here. Yeah. And one thing that I didn't do in the original building, because I knew it was going to be a temporary building to get the grants or the research done and everything like that, is I did put windows in the building, and I'm also going to put radiators in. I'm doing electric radiators. I have the electric radiator mod. That way I don't have to have a boiler and hot water pipes and everything run to it. I did the electric radiators. I figured we're a modern prison. We don't need to have a steam boiler. Yeah. So I finished laying out the offices. I wasn't really efficient with doing this. Normally I lay all the desks down, then I go and do all the chairs, and I do all the file cabinets. Done and done. Here I hopped around a little bit and I did it. But anyways, so we get the administration building in, and the whole while that I'm doing this, I'm thinking, where am I going to put the holding cell? Because I have reception near the front of the prison, with visitation next to that, so that visitors don't have to come too far into the prison. And next to that, I have parole. I really need the holding cell to go to the left side of this building block, without it taking up too much frontage. And I'm going to need to put in some additional security gates after visitation, or between reception and visitation, and after visitation, before parole, and then after parole before the holding cell. It's going to be complicated, but I want to make sure that it's completely secure and completely functional. That is very, very important. Here you see me moving the office spaces over to the new locations. They haven't got all the features in the rooms yet. That's why they're not immediately moving over. So I'm taking my time doing that. By features, I mean they didn't get the file cabinets in until very last, and it took a little while to get that in. So now I was able to mark out the lawyer's office. I can go up, I can delete the lawyer's office, and he will move over to the new location, and then I can take all of the items, dismantle all of the items in the lawyer's office, and I'll just use those items in the psychologist's office, in each of the prison blocks. Yeah, so I just put all the windows in. It's looking really sharp. And then I come up here and I mark the building out for demolition. And yeah. So that's where we're at. So what we're going to do in the next episode is I'm going to put in the holding cell in Block 4. And I'm going to look at canteens and kitchens for each of the 4 blocks. And then I'm going to start, in the episode after that, I'm going to start laying out the cell blocks, the different types of cell blocks that we're going to have. And once I get those mapped out, then I'm going to start working on the walls. If you like what you're watching, hit that like and subscribe button down below. Tell your family, tell your friends.
That was a failure of epic proportions. Unacceptable.